Welcome back. So, this week we're going to be talking about Heather Morris's almost entire published works. So, she's mostly only written the series The Tattooist of Auschwitz, but she's got one additional book sort of on the behind the scenes of how she came to meet the people whose stories she told. So, Heather Morris actually lives around the corner from me. Not around the corner, but like same state, down a train line. And had I not been working one evening, I actually would have gotten the chance to meet her, and I'm really sad that I didn't get to do that. But her works talking about the Holocaust and World War II, particularly in the Auschwitz-Birkenau concentration camps, she does a really good job, but she also makes sure to clarify that while these are people's stories and, Silka, the sisters, and the loving couple that the first book's based off that I can't remember his name for the life of me, they're all real people. The sisters, they actually talk about in Stories of Hope finding inspiration in everyday lives. Bit of a mouthful. But in that book, Heather Morris talks about how she came to find all of these stories and how, everything just kind of accidentally fell into her lap and how everything was a bit of a hot mess. But it's so cool. While a bit of a dry read, if you've read everything else, it's really interesting. Tattooist of Auschwitz, there definitely are, Heather Morris has talked about this, but there definitely are some bits of that have been made up or dramatized. The gentleman whose story it is, who was the tattooer of Auschwitz at the time, remembers a lot of things, but unfortunately he passed away before Silka's Journey was published, which is book 2. He also was the one to talk about Silka. The reason I remember her name is because it's in the book title. But yeah, the entire series was because Heather Morris was contacted by this man and his wife had just died, and so he was finally able to talk about his experiences in Auschwitz because his wife didn't want to. She just kind of wanted to forget that part of her life, which is totally fair. I think that's totally fair. And the 3 sisters, I have their names written down, just not on me at the moment because I'm half awake. But those 3 sisters actually reached out to Heather and said, hey, we've got a story for you. Did you want to hear it? Did you want to write it? And so she travelled all the way to Israel from Australia to listen and to learn, and it was incredible just seeing her journey within Stories of Hope and how she came to write her 3 books. If you're interested in World War II and Holocaust survived stories, it's great. Just remember it's not all factual. And the 3 sisters particularly, so by the time that Morris had gotten to Israel, the eldest had passed away, but the 2 youngest sisters were able to go through everything and actually communicate properly. Look, they're just really good books. Almost everything rates a 7 out of 10 for me. Silka's story got an 8 out of 10 because that just made me cry, and a lot of it hit really close to home, especially with Silka going through Auschwitz, coming out the other end and surviving, but because she was put into some serious, decision making and unfortunate circumstances, she got put into the gulags, and so there's insights into those as well, which oh my goodness, it's really sad, and you just get really upset that she had to go through all of that twice. Anyway, just read the books. Not often will I just yell at, my camera to just read the goddamn books. They're well written, the stories are great. A lot of book clubs are doing, the Tattooist of Auschwitz, and you get such a inside story of everything. It's beautiful. Excuse me. But no, seriously, they're worth a read. They're really good. They're also not too long, but they are really heavy books. So gather your spoons and a good cup of tea, and you'll be fine. Anyway, see you next week. Bye.